everyone. Welcome. My name is Tawney Seren. I am a sex educator, product reviewer, and this is a recording of a live show that will take place at the Self-Care Superstore. But this is a great way to kind of refresh yourself on the live show. If you weren't able to make it, you can now watch it. And I want to make sure that I provide these longer classes for everyone, especially those of you who watch the YouTube and you might be used to kind of bite-sized education and you want to go more in depth, but sometimes that's not as accessible. So thank you so much for coming and listening, and hopefully this is going to be something that can really help you out. Now, this class is about finding your voice through self-pleasure. So I'm really going to talk a lot about masturbation. I'm going to talk a lot about self-pleasure. I'm going to talk a lot about exploring new sensations, benefits of the big O, and a lot more. So let's dig in. So thank you again for joining me. I'm going to make you a few promises during this class. So first of all, I'm not going to make any assumptions regarding your existing knowledge or history with sex education. I'm going to assume that we are all starting from the very, very beginning and moving forward. So if I cover something that, might be common sense for you, it may not be for someone else. So we're going to try to cover everything here. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have a question? This is interactive. I know online it's not as interactive with this being a recorded show, but please leave comments. Let me know. I do respond quite a bit. Feel free to speak up at any point. This is supposed to be a safe place to explore and learn. So none of my advice or steps are gendered. Anyone can play. So if you hear me talk about a sex toy or a practice or something like that, it is something that everyone can utilize. And this is just a little trigger warning. I'm going to be talking a little bit about trauma and how masturbation can help you heal a little bit and navigate that. So please be aware of that when we go through here. So we're going to start with the hesitations around self-pleasure. Why is it that many hesitate to pleasure themselves? Now, there's a lot of different reasons, I'm going to list some of the more common ones. First of all, stigmas surrounding masturbation. If you touch yourself, you're a whore, you're promiscuous, this and that. Then we have religion and shame-related fears, so that it is sinful to do it. You've perhaps been taught that you should never touch yourself, and so there's some shame that's produced either before or after or both, and that can really prevent you from wanting to practice regular self-pleasure. You could have a partner that is very disapproving of masturbation. That's really not uncommon. There's a lot of situations in which a partner might feel replaced by a toy or by masturbation, and it's completely valid, but we're going to go deeper into how to kind of navigate that. You could have trauma. You could have sexual trauma that prohibits you from wanting to explore things sexually. You could have pain or discomfort, and this could be for there's a train going by, I apologize. This could be for many different reasons. Perhaps you just went through chemo. Perhaps you just had children. Perhaps, due to age or medications or even depression, you could experience a dryness, a pain, a discomfort that, really makes the entire situation feel unpleasant. And also, please, if you're someone who does... I am going to be going over that. I'm going to be doing another class on that pain and discomfort, so we can go deeper into that than what I'll even touch base on today. So, and a lot of people don't know what to do or where to start. Maybe you really wanted to. Maybe you feel that arousal and you touch yourself with your fingers, but when it comes to regularly doing it, you don't know how to reach the big O, or you don't know what to do with toys. Let's go over some masturbation myths. I'm just going to throw them all up there so our heads can spin. First one is that vibration desensitizes you permanently. So that is not true. If you use high-powered vibration for an extended period of time, there can be some numbness that temporarily lingers behind or some discomfort, but that is not a permanent nerve damage sort of situation. So as long as you are using things that are meant to be a sex toy, you're not like using, you're getting motorized like, creations in your garage, then no, it's not going to be a permanent desensitization. Some people believe that using toys will ruin you for partners, meaning like, hey, I've got this toy. Why would I ever need somebody else? Like, this feels incredible. Why do I even need to think about having sex? Like, it just replaces it. And that is absolutely not true. And there's that nice hot dog down a hallway mentality, the idea that if you, are masturbating using larger toys or things of that nature, that is going to permanently, extend that area. But no, no. The vaginal canal is a series of muscles up in there that can be trained to tighten and or loosen to accommodate different sizes, and it is not permanent. And also the anus can do very, very similar things. So no matter what you are using for penetration or where, it is not a permanent situation. It is something that can be trained and worked on either way. There's the idea that masturbating makes you promiscuous, that it's so naughty, and that kind of goes back sometimes to the religion upbringing, like that's something that can accommodate that, or I'm sorry, accompany that over time. But no, that is not the case at all. There are many people who don't engage in sex with partners that masturbate regularly. And then also this one, I feel like it should be a given, but I still sometimes hear this. Still, that you're going to get hairy palms or you'll have loss of sight. Neither of these things have any sort of scientific backing. And then another one that is also very common that I think it's worth mentioning is that if you're a male at birth and you stimulate your prostate, you're gay. So if you're a guy and you are playing anally, that means you want to have sex with another man. And that is just not true. There are a lot of health benefits to men exploring their prostates, to trying some different toys, things of that nature. And it is not something that dictates your sexuality. Blah. Whoa, that was weird. Let's go. Okay, so we're going to go to the benefits of self-pleasure. That was funky. So, first and foremost, masturbation is healthy and normal. You are worthy of self-pleasure. I really want you to sit with that. I want you to read it. I want you to really embrace that for a moment. Okay? Masturbation is healthy and normal. You are worthy of self-pleasure. Okay? There is a release of feel-good endorphins and stress relief hormones like dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, adrenaline, serotonin. Like, these are released not just when you orgasm, but when you are stimulating yourself. These are incredibly beneficial and help with a variety of things, such as reducing stress and anxiety, reducing pain. So, if you are someone who gets a period, and you may not want to masturbate at that point in time, but it does go. It is important to note that that can help with cramps as well. So, kind of releases those endorphins to help out there. Also can assist with sleep. If you have a hard time getting to sleep, staying asleep, it's something that can kind of drift you right off to it if you'd like. And it improves your self-esteem and cognition. So, self-pleasure is more than just a little jolt of pleasure, a quick orgasm, then it's over. These are things that are going to continue in your body for hours afterwards, and sometimes, even longer term than that. So let's talk about toys not being a replacement. So this kind of goes along with that that conversation with a partner, or if you find the challenge in self-pleasure being that you have a partner that does not want to have someone masturbating. It is a common misconception that toys are only needed if you aren't being pleased elsewhere. So like, why would you use a toy? I can give you everything you want. Like, what's the benefit here? And again, that kind of perpetuates from that mentality that masturbation is just about pleasure and just about an orgasm, and it eliminates the self-connection, the healing, the exploration, the finding your confidence, finding your voice, all of these things that also come with self-pleasure. It's not just about that orgasm, and we're going to go into that more a little bit later. You can practice masturbation whether you are in a relationship or not. Okay, it is perfectly normal and healthy and okay to masturbate whether or not you have a partner. Okay, this is about alone time, this is about self care. And this does not need to reflect on your happiness in the bedroom. So, for instance, there is no proof that someone who doesn't masturbate that's in a relationship is happier sexually than someone who does and is in a relationship. All right, this is about individual relationships, individual limits, individual boundaries, and experiences. So, it's what you want to make it here. And it should not be a main concern for either parties unless masturbation is all consuming or it's replacing your time together entirely. If all you want to do is masturbate, that means that there is something that needs to be done with you and your partner in the bedroom to further connect you, because it is pulling you away. Okay, so be aware of this. Communicate with your partner, grow with your partner, share the things that you're learning in your own private time with them, and that can be a really powerful way to play. So if needed, speak with your partner regarding the desire to practice self pleasure. Ensure them it's healthy, normal, not a replacement for them, that you are happy in the bedroom with them, that you are trying some new things. You're going to see if it's something worth bringing, to their attention. It can be a really fun way to kind of filter out new things to try. So let's talk about where to start, right? You might think, hey, you know what? I masturbate. I already do that. Okay, I do it every once in a while or whatever, and it doesn't really matter where. Maybe I just do it where I can. But I'll tell you what, it really does pay sometimes to set a scene for yourself, to put some time into that, honor yourself a little bit, light some candles, take a warm shower, play some music. Make sure your space around you is clean and void of things that remove you from the moment. Like if I'm sitting there and I'm set up, I'm masturbating, and I look over and there's like dirty dishes next to me. That could pull me out of like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this and spending time on myself. I should be cleaning. I should be doing so and so. Oh, there's that paperwork for that thing that's due tomorrow. Oh gosh, I should be doing that. Like, give yourself that time to really find your pleasure and not be thinking about that to-do list. Feel free to warm up, read a sensual book, some, erotica, watch some porn if that interests you, get some arousal oils or an audio book that gets you in the mood. Like, warm yourself up, give yourself some time. This is about exploration. It's about finding your voice. It's about finding your pleasure, and, you don't need to rush it. Picking a toy. Okay, so if you're lost, you're like, listen, I want to do it, but I don't want to go acoustic. I want to bring in some toys. Where do I start? There are so many options out there. I don't even know where to begin. Um, you know, Vibration's a great way to start. It feels good on anybody and it can be used anywhere. So, it can be used under the scrotum, along the shaft, on the clitoris, on the nipples, in erogenous zones, as a massage tool, on yourself leading up to that pleasurable time. It's great for all over exploration, whether or not you're looking to get to an orgasm. But if you're looking for something internally, take materials into consideration, especially if you have skin sensitivities. I'm going to go into materials, porous and non porous, in a little bit here, but always also start smaller and move up when it comes to penetration tools, especially if you are new, if you experience discomfort, if you haven't had sex in a long time, or like if you're trying anal play for the first time and everything. It's all about starting smaller because there are things that you can add to penetrables to enhance the sensation later. For instance, there are penis extenders that can be put on dildos if you want to make it a little bit thicker and you don't want to buy a whole new toy. There are also cock rings that can easily attach onto dildos and make them vibrating if yours isn't already vibrating. There's a lot of different sensations that you can kind of play with and grow with from a dildo. But if you're going too large, it could be a little bit uncomfortable. It's up to your discretion. You know your body better than I ever will. And so, if you experience that pain or discomfort that I'd mentioned before, try looking into dilators or small pegging dildos. These normally have a rounded end that is not going to hit up against the cervix, and they are nice and flexible but firm enough for penetration. And they're going to be nice and slim and sleek, non textured. Pair that up with a lubrication and kind of move up from there. They're really meant for your comfort and for reintroducing penetration. Don't forget the lubrication. We'll go over that again more later, but seriously, even if you are sitting here and you're like, please, I don't have any problem getting ready, and having fun, or you're sitting there and you're like, the toys I use don't really need lubrication. Listen, whether you have a penis or you have a vagina, lubrication feels fantastic. It is an enhancer. Okay, you could be slick and just fine down there, but adding that lubrication can really help minimize the friction of the materials in the toys, and it can help you just kind of enjoy for longer without having to pause and reposition or add more lubrication, things of that nature. So really, really adopt it into your self-care routine. So, we're going to utilize self pleasure for healing. This may or may not apply to you, but I think it's valuable information to kind of soak in because it is more than just an orgasm. So, there are many benefits to self pleasure and finding your voice in self pleasure that go beyond finally having an orgasm. So, for instance, um, learn to enjoy the journey and the sensations overall. Some people find it difficult to orgasm in general, whether they're in their own head, whether it's medication. There's so many different reasons. But that does not mean that taking time with themselves, touching themselves, and exploring themselves is a waste. You do not have to reach an orgasm to release happiness hormones and obtain stress relief or sleep aids. So, those lovely, lovely endorphins I was talking about earlier, those start appearing when you are causing yourself pleasure. So, again, even if you're like, oh, but it takes me forever, oh, but it's so much stress, it's so disappointing, still try to take time to know yourself, to learn yourself, to explore that pleasure because you're still going to get plenty of benefits, even if you're not going to even reach an orgasm. So, also, another benefit is in healing and trauma. So, self pleasure and having that alone time with yourself allows you complete control of a scene. Tools, depth, your role in the scene, your facial expression, whatever is going on is within your control. There's no one else involved. It is a great opportunity to explore your likes, dislikes, and regaining your power. So, whether or not there is sexual healing that needs to be done, any sort of trauma can lock down our mind and strip our libido in different ways. And it can be incredibly challenging to step out of our head and even find that we deserve pleasure. And so, exploring and taking that time is healing. It's healing confidence. It's healing your connection with yourself. It's healing your voice again. So that is something to keep in mind. It's a way to honor yourself and your body for your own pleasure and no one else's. This is just about you. Okay, you're just taking care of yourself. So, step 3, let's learn what you like and do some exploring. So, new sensations. Let's bring in some new sensations. When you play with yourself, you are more likely to try new things than if you are in the bedroom with your partner and you're unsure or you're worried about how your face is going to look or your body is going to look or how you are going to react to something. We get a little bit braver when we're by ourselves, okay? That can go from the things that we enjoy watching to turn ourselves on, or reading, or experiencing, to the toys we use, the positions we use, the sensations we try. Feel encouraged to explore, okay, while you are alone and you are finding your voice. Something that's helped for me is that I was overwhelmed with the different things I didn't know whether or not I liked. So I made a big list of them, ripped them up, put them in a bowl, and then when I was in the mood and I was horny, I'd pull one out. Now, of course, if you see one, you can cheat a little, like, oh God, really not today. But you can kind of find something that you could explore that you're like, hey, you know what? I pulled it. I'm gonna give it a try, see what I like, and try taking notes and figuring out what you enjoy. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about finding your voice. So, masturbation increases self confidence. All right. Studies have shown there is a significant increase in conversations around sexual wants and needs within relationships where partners masturbate. So, it is showing that when we are taking our own self pleasure into our own hands, there is a certain level of comfort then in relaying that information to our partner. This can be not something that resonates with you. Maybe you never feel comfortable talking about your wants and needs, and so that may not be the case, but it does appear that this opens a lot of doors for couples. And finding out what we absolutely don't like privately, our big red light no's, that helps avoid them with partners. Like if you're not sure if you'll like anal or a little electroplay or a spanking or things like that, and you kind of try it on yourself and it's an immediate no, you can skip trying that with a partner. You can go, listen, I already know I don't like that. All right, we can put it on the back burner instead of chancing, experiencing it, and having it shut you down when you're in the moment with a partner or where you feel like it is a ruined experience. So, and then again, if you know exactly how you like to be touched, you know exactly what you want in every way, that will be more easily expressed to your partner. If you're like, wait, no, touch me here like this. Wait, I like it when you use this. I use it like this. You can navigate somebody. And we're accustomed to think that, navigation is maybe not hot, that somebody should just come and sweep us off our feet and know all these things. But really, the actuality of it is that sex and learning each other's bodies takes time, it takes communication to do it right. So, having that conversation and navigating someone is never something that should be avoided. Okay, that's how we get to that incredible sex. Let's talk about some toy safety while we're talking about, like, hey, listen, I want you to masturbate all the time, like. But let's talk about some of these toy materials I was talking about earlier, that porous and non-porous there. So yeah, there are porous and non-porous sex toy materials. Porous toys are more difficult to fully clean and sanitize of germs and bacteria, and non-porous toys are easier to fully sterilize. Non-porous sex toy materials, examples of those are like silicone toys, glass, stainless steel. This is like the cream of the crop. This is what you're gonna really want to lean towards in all ways. But of course, there are also TPE, TPR toys. So they're like the ones that are called jelly, or a lot of strokers have TPE and TPR, and you can kind of use your own discretion. I'm mainly talking about toys that are going to be inserted in your body, so it is not as much of an issue when we're considering strokers for penises. It's like a surface kind of situation. However, you can understand that these porous toys, these TPE, TPR strokers, are not going to last as long. You're going to get like some micro abrasions and tears in them over time, whereas silicone is going to last you a lot longer. So there's still kind of a VIP experience in these non porous sex toy materials. Silicone toys can also be stored with each other. So on top of each other with like no bags or anything, they're not going to discolor or melt. Whereas TPE and TPR toys should not be stored together. They will kind of start to merge into some like Franken dildo. So please, please spare yourself. I've lost too many dildos that way. So let's talk about some cleanings and extras here. So always make sure to clean your toys before and after use with a toy cleaner or some like light soap and warm water before and after use, especially if you've got yourself some silicone, because that is going to cling on to like, every dog hair, every piece of lint, everything that it even within its sight. Store your toys safely and discreetly. Okay, there's even some antibacterial toy bags that are super cute that you can store them in. That's going to help keep them clean for next time. And never forget that lubrication. Here's just a few things to keep in mind. Again, like this is up here so that although I talk fast, the notes are here for you to take if you want. Silicone lubrication should not be used with silicone toys. Okay, you can use a hybrid or a water-based lubrication, but silicone sometimes has a longer lasting funky effect on silicone toys. And oil based lubrication should not be used with condoms. So if you are using a condom on your toy, which a lot of people will get TPE, TPR toys and then use a condom on them if they have sensitivities, to each their own. But if you're going to do that, don't pull out the coconut oil because it's going to eat away at that latex. It's kind of, you don't want to be having that sort of chemical reaction while something is inside you. So let's talk about the importance of embracing self-patience during this quest to find your voice through self-pleasure. Don't let fear or shame get in the way. I know, easier said than done, right? Like it's a switch, right? But no, it's a practice. It's a long-term practice. It may take you a little bit to fully embrace loving your own body, especially if you have spent so much time either telling yourself that you are not worthy or looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I hate what I see and I don't want to touch it. Okay? That lack of confidence, that hurt, that trauma, that different reasons why we might be feeling that can be so harmful to our own self-love and practice. And be gentle with yourself. Okay? Practice that self-love, practice that self-care until you feel ready to fully accept it. It's healthy and normal to masturbate. Remember that. Take it slowly. Have grace with yourself. And try to surround yourself with friends, media, and content that supports pleasure and loving yourself. It can be incredibly hard, especially in shame based situations, to really embrace doing this if you are surrounded by people who are shaming you for it. Okay, try to like kind of block out the noise and just take care of yourself, because other people's opinions do not reflect your self-worth or power. Okay, they're speaking from their own experiences, and you get to find your own voice in this. Let's talk about aftercare. Like, this is the last step of it all, really. And this is something that often happens in partnered situations, but I think is very much overlooked in solo care. So, aftercare is the act of coming down from a heightened bunch of sensations, and is what is sometimes needed after sex or masturbation to have optimal comfort. So we'll go more into that here. This can be beneficial even if you're not with a partner, and aftercare looks different for everyone. So some scenes, and when I say scene, I mean a interaction with either yourself or a partner, this build up, whether you're reading something and you get really into it and you're putting yourself in a fantasy, or whether you're really loving what you're doing and you're like playing to exhaustion, or when we have these heightened sensations or we're trying new sensations, it can be really hard to relax afterwards. Even after you've orgasmed, you could feel yourself a bit overwhelmed. And if you experience shame pleasuring yourself, it could be necessary to have some sort of aftercare to keep yourself from feeling that shame or feeling upset or regretful after you play. So here are some examples of aftercare that you can try. You could relax to some music, take a warm shower, kind of break down in your head what you like or didn't like, write it down, rate yourself, it's fun. Snacks in bed, love it. Go outside and enjoy some fresh air, take a walk, just sit, play some video games, watch a favorite TV show, smoke a bowl, whatever gets you back into your own head, that can help. So don't worry, you made it. You're here. You sat through my whole class. I'm so proud of you, and thank you. Just to summarize, masturbation is an incredible way to release a multitude of beneficial endorphins, to heal yourself, to explore new sensations, and to ultimately find confidence in your voice in the bedroom with your partner, or just to enjoy your time with yourself. It is never something that needs to lead to sex. It's never something that needs to lead to an orgasm. This is just about you connecting with your body, honoring yourself, and learning how to fall in love with yourself again, and how to, introduce your needs in the future and find your voice. So, thank you all so much for watching, for joining. And again, if you have any questions, any comments, please feel free to write them down below. And I really hope to be able to deliver more of these soon. So, thank you, everyone.